Howdy, budding Radiologik DJs. Got a tip for you today that might help you out in regards to inserting a podcast into your schedule. Now, the backbone of this has really got to be done inside of iTunes itself. So let's skip over there and I'll show you how I set this one up. So I've got a podcast here, which is in a smart playlist. So I'll show you how I've edited that. There we go. So what I want to do is match all of the following rules. Okay, so the artist in this case is the name of the podcast that I want. Now I want this as an unplayed podcast. Okay, so the play count needs to be 0 for this particular podcast. And I want the newest one, so I've set it up as the date added in the last 1 day. This is also set for live updating, which means there's only ever going to be one podcast in here, or none, if it's played, obviously. So as soon as it's played, it'll disappear. But I want the latest one so that I can schedule that and play that for any given day that I want to schedule that for. So let's hop over to Radiologik Scheduler and let's just throw a quick couple of commands together so that we can get this going and just show you what happens. So what we want to do is our first one, let's change that to a fill for the top of the hour. We'll go to our 80s gradies. There we go. And those are the ones I normally use for my fill at the top of the hour. So what we want next is a pick. Let's use let's do an intro, like a show intro. So let's go for an ID. There we go. And we want a random unique and a station ID. Check, done. So our next one, now what I've done is actually an intro for this podcast because it's a little bit of a break away from what we're normally doing and just to give it some kind of an introduction. So what we want to do is change that to an intro command. So inside of Radiologik intros, I have set up a Wretched Radio. It's got to look for the same name. In this case, I've done one. I could do more just for different shows, for example, or just a bit of break up the monotony, you might say. So there we go. So it's called Wretched Radio, the exact same as the podcast that we've brought in, right? So back here, so we've got our intro and obviously our most important one, which is our pick. And what we want it to do is pick from our smart playlist. So our Wretched podcast. There we go. So we shouldn't need to do anything more to that. So let's just throw this over to here, build it, and they will come. Let's have a look. And there's the magic. So we've got our no top of the hour because obviously we're a bit close to where they are on that one. So we've gone straight to our ID and it's because I set it for 8 o'clock and it's 8:49. That'll be why. Makes sense. And there's our intro and there is our scheduled segment of the day from Wretched Radio, our podcast. Pretty easy, eh? So you could set that up any way that you like or however you like. You could do a number of these. You can have them back to back, quarter of an hour podcast. You could have 4 in an hour. Do it the way that you want to do it. Put some intros in betweens or outros or however you like, some station IDs. So hopefully that's helped you guys out with setting up for your podcasts right inside Radiologik Scheduler. There's another little snapshot of it there. Take a note of that if you need to and just have some fun with it. Catch you on the next video, guys. Cheers.